is everyone this evening? I should say hello, friends, my fellow bibliophiles, and all my zombie lovers out there. We are having our second live chat on Cats and Novel Adventures, and I am Kat, also known as Putrid Fleshington. That is my zombie name. For those of you just joining us this Tuesday or just joining Zombiethon, basically, I'm doing some live chats just so we can talk zombies to celebrate Zombie Awareness Month. May is Zombie Awareness Month, and Zombiethon is a month-long event where we are just going to chat and talk zombies for an hour in the evening. So I see we have some zombie lovers in our chat stream already. I want to say hello to everyone before we get started. Hello, Dreaming Truth. Swamp Gas, hello. Hello, Kristen. Hi, Halko. Yay, Liz. Happy Zombie Month. Yes, all month long. Yes, Raleigh, Putrid Fleshington. I think Fleshington has a nice fancy flair to it, honestly. Maybe I was fancy in my former life before becoming a zombie. Who knows? Hey, Storm. She is telling everyone hello. Welcome, welcome. So before we get started on what I would like to chat with you about, I just want to remind everyone that we do have a group read this month, Night of the Living Trekkies. This is Kevin David Anderson and Sam Stahl. It is a humorous zombie story. It's basically about Jim. He's a manager at a hotel in Houston, and there's a science fiction convention in town, and all these people descend upon him in his lobby along with the virus, and everything gets chaotic and crazy. Several people have already finished the book, and they are enjoying it. I am going to be starting it probably next week sometime. I'm going to start it as we get closer to the discussion, which is going to be the last Tuesday in May, which is May 30th. So if you want to join us for the discussion, pick up the book. I know that you can get it audio, Kindle, as well as a physical copy. So you still have time to get that. I also want to remind everyone that Kelly Hooked on Books, is helping me co-host by hosting some watch parties for us on Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And this week, the movie on the schedule is Night of the Comet. This is a 1984 zombie movie. I have not seen this movie probably since the 80s, maybe the 90s. So this is going to be a real treat. And I'm going to get to come this time because I officially graduated from my improv curriculum on Sunday. So I now am available on Thursday nights. Talking about the watch party, you can watch it in the Discord, which is linked below if you have not joined already. And we also have an Instagram, and our Instagram information is also linked below. And we are getting people following Zombiethon every day. I have a couple of people joining, and I am so excited and thank everyone who is posting all of their progress, because every time someone sends it to me and tags me, I try to put it into stories, both on my Instagram as well as the Zombiethon Instagram. So if you want to check out that fun stuff, you can. Hey, Jasmine. Welcome, welcome. Just got my Night of the Living Trekkies. Can't wait to start it. Oh, Liz, I think it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to reading it. My library luckily had the group read available. Perfect, Kristen. I'm so happy. Hey, Linda, I'm about to talk about you, girl, in about a second. And I am pumped to read Night of the Living Trekkies. Yes, so far, the people who have read, I know Kelly has read it, and they have said that they've enjoyed it. So you could check out the group read on Discord and kind of see what people's feedback. Halko said I got my copy of that book and I'll be starting tonight. Excellent. Hey, Vanessa, welcome. Riley says, might check that out. Woot, Yeah, and then we'll talk about it. I'm excited. My first like group read on my channel. I'm just so happy. Woohoo! Congrats, Kat. Thank you. Yes, I have been doing this particular I have actually been doing improv since January 2020. But the 3 classes I took for that curriculum were geared specifically for improv for the actors. This was like improv to perform improv on stage. And 8 months because it was 4 different levels, 8 weeks per level. So that was a long time coming. And we were actually the first graduating class for Anubis. And I'm excited. Thank you, Liz. Woohoo! Congrats on graduating. Yes, I'm excited. Hey, Crystal. I see you laughing, Linda. I'm about to talk to you. I'm about to talk about you. I got the book. Thank you again. Oh, yay. You got the giveaway book. Thank you so much for participating. I'm hoping to read the Trekkie book too. Yes, Sally. I just have to brag on Sally for a second. Sally's killing it, both in the readathon and watchathon. She has completed all the prompts, all of them, and she's still going strong. So I'm super proud of you, Sally, and very excited. That was such a happiness boost. It's just wonderful. I'm truly, truly excited. Okay, so I need to mention that I added a channel to the Discord called Promote Zombie Content. And I was thinking about this because Crystal actually posted a music video and it was super cute of them singing the zombie song. It was precious. I loved it. But if you have not seen it, check it out. I can't remember if she put it in the just chatting. She might have put it in the just chatting section. But check it out. And that got me thinking, well, you know what? 2 of our fabulous booktubers in our community, well, one happens to be a gamer as well as booktuber. I mean, a gamer that reads, and I think that's exciting. They both have been doing stuff on their channels in celebration of Zombieethon. So I want to shout them out and have you check them out. And I will also, I did not link them, but I will link their channels in the description box below when I'm finished with this so that you can check them out. But the first one is Linda a couple of days ago, and this is Linda, the Gamer Gal. She played live on her channel. She played the game House of the Dead 3, and I believe it was on the Wii gaming system. And I watched a few minutes of it, and she was going into this house and killing zombies. I did not see her die. I'm not sure if she was able to finish the game. I'm gonna have to go back and see if she survived it, if she beat the game, but it looked like a good time. And her thumbnail is precious. So if you like video games and you like zombies, check out Linda's channel because it looks like a good time. And then M of Dark Violet Dreams did a tag, and it is the zombie apocalypse tag. It's a zombie apocalypse game tag, and I cannot wait to do this. She tagged me along with some other booktubers, but it's a lot of fun. You pick 5 books, and each book you have to answer a question. So like, who's going to be the first person to die? So you flip randomly in the book, and the first name you see is the person that's first going to die in the zombie apocalypse. And then the next prompt, you use that same book and you flip randomly again and you answer that question. It's really fun. So I've decided what I'm going to do. She had her daughters pick her books for her. I'm going to pick, since we've got 5 months so far and it's 5 books that you need, I'm going to pick a book from each month. So January, February, March, April, and May. So 1 book from each of those months. And those are going to be the books that I use. And I think what I might do is I might put all of the names of the books in a hat, you know, of the 5, and then pull out randomly. And that way I won't know what book is going to be what. So I can't plan ahead or anything, like, because depending on what the book is, there might be some funky characters and I would want them to be killed first, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. So some good people might end up dying, but we'll see. But anyway, check it out. I put put both videos, Linda's and M's, in the Discord for everyone to try to check out. But lots of fun, and I'm so excited that we have people who are doing things zombie related besides reading and watching and all these shenanigans. So let's see what else we do. Thanks. I love improv. My husband and I go to comedy sports. Awesome. Yeah, improv, it's really different. Just talking about improv, I know we're in a zombie thing, but I took improv for the actors because I am an actor and I just wanted to have some, to get that skill of when I have to audition, being thrown a curveball. Because a lot of times you'll go for an audition and then they'll say, can you do it this way? Can you do it that way? So you have to be able to quickly do that kind of stuff. And then if for some reason you forget your line, you can kind of improvise doing something else. That actually happened to me when I was auditioning for Clue. I knew my lines, and it got to a point where I delivered this one line because I actually used 9 to 5, a scene from 9 to 5, and I was playing Violet. And for whatever reason, the line escaped me. And so instead of just standing there like a doofus or like a zombie, I just kind of physically did stuff to show my annoyance because I was supposed to be annoyed in the scene. And then as I gave my time to do that, I remembered the last line and then I got out of it. So it made sense, but they didn't know and I was able to improvise. This curriculum is a little bit different because you literally have to put on a show for people, and it's long form. And long form, you got to make everything up from the very beginning. So you walk on stage and you and whoever else is out there, you just start making up all kinds of goofy, silly stuff. We all must be ready for the zombie apocalypse. Yes, I agree, Linda. And you're giving us tips, and that's perfect. Thank you for the shout out. Of course. Of course. I think it's really cool that you are playing it. I'm going to go back and watch because I need to know. I need to make sure that clearly you are alive because you're here, but your character on the game, did you live or not? That's the cliffhanger. Okay, Halko, I watched Slither last night and it was interesting. I love how you said it was interesting. Slither is one of my favorites, and I guess it's because of the director and because of the actors in it, but it is a good time. If you have not seen Slither, I highly recommend it. It is funny, but it's also kind of gross in parts, but it has the fabulous Michael Rooker, who played Merle on The Walking Dead. He's Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy. They have Nathan Fillion of Firefly fame and Castle fame. Who else is in there? Jenna Fisher, because at the time she was married to James Gunn, who is the director of Slither. So I highly recommend it. It's really good. They have some gross parts in it. I beat the game and had fun. I'm glad you beat the game. That is fun. I attempted I Am Legend again, and I just struggled with the dog part. I Am Legend meaning, okay, so it must be the movie. Yes. It kills me. I have seen I Am Legend several times, and I know it's coming, and I still get all crazy, and, my heart's pounding, and I cry like a baby. The ending of Slither is so over the top. Love it. Yes, it is. It is extremely over the top. I think that's why it's so crazy. And it's funny because I have to ask Kelsey. I can't remember if she liked Slither as much as I did. I know she didn't like Cooties as much as I did, but I think she did like Slither. It's right up her alley. I don't know why she wouldn't like it because it's very cheesy and has a lot of corn in it. But Also, I just wanted to share with you what I'm reading and watching. So also let me know what you're reading and watching. I know I've seen some of you post, but for those of us in the chat that haven't seen that, they might want to know. The thing I like about this Discord is I can go back, and instead of having to write everything down, I now can just go back and refer to that for all these new zombie books I'm going to be getting and zombie movies that I'm going to be watching in the future. But I did finish finally. Kate Walden directs Night of the Zombie Chickens. It was very cute. I just have to mention that the Night of the Zombie Chickens is the movie that Kate is actually directing. She is a 7th grader. She's in junior high. She wants to be a filmmaker. She and her best friend are filming this movie. So the only time zombies are in it is when she has people dress up as zombies to act in the movie. Now, of course, she thinks her chickens are demonic and out to get her, and every bad thing that happens is the fault of the chickens. And that is because she's basically blaming her mom for leaving, a high profile corporate job to then become a chicken farmer. And, kind of turns Kate's life upside down because she has to move from like the town or the city into the country. But it's a very cute story, and it has humor in it, and Kate and her best friend have issues because when she refers to her best friend becoming a soulless zombie, it's because she's buying into something socially, and so when you just want to follow a crowd, like a zombie or a sheep or whatever, however, that's kind of how she's referring to it. But it's pretty funny at parts, and I'm just going to say I enjoyed it, and I want to check out Julie Matta's other book. It has something to do with slugs. I'm not sure if it's like Kate Walden directs something with the slugs. I need to find that out because I would like to see these characters again because I liked Kate. I thought she was funny, and she does have to make some decisions, about making good or poor decisions based on emotion. But I would recommend it to anyone who likes middle grade and wants a good time. And it's also for people who are not into hardcore zombie books. This would be perfect because it has zombies in it. It's just not in the way that we think, trying to eat your brains. Now, I have started Brains, Not a Zombie Snack. Well, I'm going to be starting it. I haven't actually officially started it yet. But this is the picture book, and this is basically about your brain. But they have a little zombie that's talking about it, which I think is very cute. The zombie's not going to eat your brain, I hope. And then I'm also starting The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. So we'll see. It is a chunker. So I wanted to start this right away, but I had to finish a book that I was reading, Goodnight, Mr. Tom, for the FOMO book club. I had to do that first, and also had to finish Rise of the Princess. So I was carrying over books from April that I needed to finish before I could really sink my teeth into zombie stuff. So hopefully I'll get on track and all will be well. So let's see what's going on here. I am reading Cell by Stephen King. I hope you like it, Linda, because I love Cell. I'm up to episode 3 of Kingdom, loving it, and also watch Resident Evil. I love that movie. I freaking love that movie so much, Crystal. I love the part when they're in that hall and that laser beam thing comes through. I know I'm a spoil for people, but when it cuts, that is like the coolest scene ever. I love it so very, very much. Kingdom, I want to get started on that. I'm kind of debating, should I start? Should I wait? Because I really need to get back on Fear the Walking Dead, because Fear the Walking Dead, I believe the new season starts on the 14th, which is Sunday. Got to get caught up. Oh, hey, Jim. Hey, Jim. So glad you're here. If you want a book to make you cry, try Where Coyotes Howl by Sandra Dallas. The audiobook is narrated by my friend Stephen Nemeth Parker. I cried. Did I say that out loud? Well, is Where Coyotes Howl, is that a zombie book or just a book that you're recommending in general? If it has anything sad when it comes to animals or I will, or like any person who's being treated unfairly or not given a good chance. That's what happened with Goodnight, Mr. Tom. I cried in that book. It's not a zombie book, but very sad. Thanks for the recommendation, Jim. The Girl with All the Gifts is so good. I enjoyed the movie too. Yes, I have seen the movie, but I have not read the book. And I know I've mentioned this before. Kelsey gifted me the book. I wanted to read it last year and I didn't get to it because, like I said, it is a chunker. I think it is, let's see. Well, that's extras. Ooh, lots of extras. It is 403 pages. So I'm hoping that I can get through it pretty quickly. I used to be a fast reader and I don't know, something happened ever since COVID. Just a book in general. Well, that's good. I will take that recommendation and I will check it out. I probably will not listen to it on audiobook because I like to read physical copies, but I'm glad your friend was able to do the book. That is awesome. So today I wanted to talk to y'all about what causes zombies, because there's all kinds of debate about what actually causes a zombie. And I think we need to go back to the very beginning, because apparently the word zombie came into our language like back in the 1800s. And zombies, as far as like a zombie person, a zombified person, has its roots in Haiti. It comes from folklore because a zombie is a dead person or a dead body, not a person anymore, a dead body reanimated by magic or what they consider voodoo. However, it is not the faith practice of voodoo. So it's more like the magical use of voodoo, more like witchcraft, kind of sorcery kind of stuff. They say that the body is revived by necromancy and controlled by whomever summons the dead. So whether it's a sorcerer or a witch. In fact, the first zombie film, which is White Zombie with Bela Lugosi, is more that type of a zombie. The, people are kind of put over under a spell and they're kind of used like slaves. So that is the zombie of that time. And then I found this out when I read this book last year, The Serpent in the Rainbow by Wade Davis. I found out that Zora Neale Hurston, who is an American writer, and she was an American anthropologist. If you don't know, she wrote the fabulous book, Their Eyes Were Watching God, which is one of my favorite books. And she went to Haiti in 1937 to study Haitian folklore. And when she was there, she found out about this woman that just kind of wandered into the village. Well, apparently, she was a 29-year-old woman who died, and then they buried her, and then she came back. And some people were like, no, that's not true. They did an x-ray on the woman. They didn't see the broken bone that supposedly the woman had, but she claims it. And really what Zora Neale Hurston uncovered was that they were using some kind of psychoactive drug, which allowed these people to like go into a state like they appeared like they would be dead. But after they would kind of revive, after the drug, I guess, wore off, they could move and they could act and do things, but their thought processes weren't there. They really couldn't comprehend. So they kind of just walked around like they were in a zombie trance kind of thing. Let's see what else. Before I continue, watch Astro Zombies and Night of the Seagulls on Tubi. I feel like the Minesweeper picking up some duds. Well, the names of those movies sound like they possibly could be duds. That's like the movie I Walked with a Zombie. It was a Haitian zombie movie. Yes. In fact, when I was looking up the information, that movie was mentioned as well, Sally. The drug is from a pufferfish. Very, very good. Yes. So I found out about Zora Neale Hurston, which I thought was fantastic because I had no idea that she was an anthropologist. I never really delved into her biography. I just know I loved her book. And so then we read this last year for Zombie Awareness Month, and this was actually also my book club pick. And Wade Davis is a Harvard ethnobotanist, and he went pretty much for like pharmaceutical reasons, and he wanted to go see what was happening in Haiti. And like Sally said, he discovered that there were two powders that were being mixed together, and that if these two powders together got into the bloodstream, like say even from an open wound, they would end up, it did something to their bodies to where they would end up appearing dead, but they really weren't dead. But that's one of the powders is the TTX, which is a neurotoxin found in the flesh of a pufferfish. And then the other powder is datura, which is a hallucinogen. And so the two of those mixed together, that's what he's claiming. That's what Wade Davis claimed. Because of that being mixed together, it gets into your bloodstream. Then you look like you're dead. And the people in the community would bury you. And then, of course, you would wake up and you were buried. You were in a coffin. Now, it caused a death-like state, is how they described it. You would reawaken after your burial. And so because of the mental effects of those two drugs on your system, as well as the trauma of being buried alive, you would end up not being very coherent. You would be the same way. You could move, you could act, but you really couldn't think. You were just kind of shambling around, kind of lost. And so what ended up happening is he also mentioned that sometimes they just hung around like the graveyard and stuff. And so, I don't know. That's why they would get that name zombie. But I think that's terrible. I think it's very terrible. I don't know. I would be curious to find out if they, once all this zombie stuff happened where people were being buried alive, even though they appeared dead, I wonder if they did what like they did in the Victorian times, where they would put a bell, attach a bell to like the person's finger. And that way, if you died and they buried you because you really weren't dead, you could ring the bell and then somebody could dig you up. I think that's horrible. I would hope not. Sally says, I just read Becoming a Zombie. Is it becoming a zombie, a Haitian zombie, or a more modern zombie that we know now? Yes, that is extremely wild and very scary. And I would not want that to happen to me for sure. I would think that would be awful, terrible. But apparently it went on for quite a while. Now, if you have, also, I must mention, both Zora Neale Hurston as well as Wade Davis, when they started investigating, a lot of doors were closed on them because they didn't really want them to know about this. Because I do think, at least in Serpent and the Rainbow, they probably were not doing things the way they were supposed to be doing it. Like some people, I think they did it on purpose. And so they didn't want him coming and looking at them. But this is a very interesting book, and they do have pictures of it. But he also wrote a sequel to it, I believe, as well. But there is some controversy about it when he first published it in an article before he did the book. But I don't know. I find it interesting. Now, there is a movie called The Serpent in the Rainbow with Bill Pullman, and it's, I would say, loosely based on the book, because there's some things that happen in the movie that obviously didn't happen in real life to Wade Davis. But there's more like more mystery and thriller and, that kind of stuff. So if you have not seen it, I would recommend that one. It's pretty cool. After I read Cell by Stephen King, I plan on watching the movie. I enjoyed the movie. I know some people were like, whatever, but I enjoyed it. I mean, you got to treat the movie and the books differently. I kind of always try to think of a movie like, if I wouldn't have read the book, would this have been an enjoyable movie? Because, a book can give you so much more backstory. I mean, just in general, I think. Okay, so moving on to more modern zombies. According to Max Brooks of the Zombie Survival Guide, this handy little book here, he says the origin of zombification is a virus, and it's solanum. I listened to the pronunciation and I still can't say it. Solanum, I believe is how you pronounce it. However, there is no evidence that they have found this particular virus isolated anywhere in the wild, like not in the water, the air. So how the virus ends up getting into your system, that can't be determined yet. So I just want to read the little passage about the virus itself. So it says, solanum works by traveling through the bloodstream from the initial point of entry to the brain. Through means not yet fully understood, the virus uses the cells of the frontal lobe for replication, destroying them in the process. During this period, all bodily functions cease. By stopping the heart, the infected subject is rendered dead. The brain, however, remains alive but dormant, while the virus mutates its cells into a completely new organ. The most critical trait of this new organ is its independence from oxygen. By removing the need for this all-important resource, the undead brain can utilize, but is in no way dependent upon, the complex support mechanism of the human body. Once mutation is complete, this new organ reanimates the body into a form that bears little resemblance, physiologically speaking, to the original corpse. Some bodily functions remain constant, others operate in a modified capacity, and the remainder shut down completely. This new organism is a zombie, a member of the living dead. And that's where it says, unfortunately, extensive research has yet to find an isolated example of solanum in nature. Water, air, and soil and all ecosystems from all parts of the world have turned up negative, as have their accompanying flora and fauna. At the time of this writing, the search continues. And the Zombie Survival Guide was written, let's see what the copyright is, 2003. So unless they have found something, I have not seen anything when I was digging around about that. So because he thinks it's all originated with a virus, once you are infected, according to this virus and his information, you reanimate within 24 hours. And how fast you reanimate depends on your body. So maybe if you were healthy, you turn into a zombie faster. I don't know. Very interesting, I would say. Reading Ganymede by Cherie Priest. Hidden at the bottom of Lake Pontchartrain lurks an astonishing war machine, an immense submersible called the Ganymede. I don't know if I would like that. I don't know if I would want to be submersed. I would not make a very good person in the Navy, for sure. I read the book a long time ago and forgot about it. The book was still in a box and never took stuff out. When you talked about it, I was like, oh, I have that book. Such a good book. I agree. I finished another zombie middle grade book called Case File 13 Zombie Kid by J. Scott Savage. Awesome. Stormy has been reading middle grade zombie books, which I think is awesome. And I'll have to write that one down on my list. Where is my list? because I love middle grade books and I would not mind reading some more. So case file number 13. Now, Storm, is that part of a series or is that a standalone? I'd love to know. Scott Savage. Sounds good. Okay, so talking about modern zombies, as we know, zombies have changed a lot because we used to always have like your slow zombies, kind of mimicking the zombies, like Haitian zombies, except Haitian zombies seem like they can still function, as long as they're directed or whatever. The zombies of like Night of the Living Dead, George Romero's first group of zombies, they just kind of shambled around and didn't seem like they did want to do anything except eat your brains. Those kind of zombies are like traditional zombies that started off, right? So then something has happened over the years and they've kind of mutated somehow and they can be fast, which is kind of crazy. Now, something that's very interesting is if you've seen World War Z and you read the book World War Z, the zombies in the World War Z book are not fast, but in the movie, they're high-speed chasers. I would never survive. That is for sure. There's a 3DS game about taking care of a pet zombie. Oh, that would be so cute. I would like that. Anyone into zombie board games? Well, I actually have I have a Walking Dead Monopoly game. I don't know. I need to play it. I also have cards with Walking Dead on it. It's the first book in a 4-book series, but don't know if they're all zombie related. Okay, cool. It's good to know. I have the game and it is funny. Well, I think it would be cute. Never played any zombie board games. Yeah, I actually got the Monopoly Walking Dead, but I haven't had anybody to play with. I need somebody to play with me. And unless, of course, I play as myself as different characters, I guess I could do that. I remember doing that as a kid with some of my board games. I didn't have anybody to play with. But our media origins for zombies are more like scientific reasons why. And so I actually have a list of 10 ways that zombies can come about, except they kind of overlap. And so, of course, we've got Max Brooks's virus. And I don't know if you know this, fun fact on a tangent. I don't know if anybody knows that Max Brooks is the son of Mel Brooks and Anne Bancroft. I think that's amazing. Anybody out there fans of Mel Brooks or Anne Bancroft? Max Brooks is their son. So, of course, virus, you think of The Walking Dead, you think of World War Z, and pretty much most zombie movies out there, a virus is what causes the zombie apocalypse or the outbreak or whatever's happening with the zombies. And then, of course, you end up like all zombie apocalypse. They kind of wipe out everybody because everybody's taken by surprise. And then you've got your groups who are trying to survive and navigate and try to kill these zombies. Another, now I got this information off of a zombie article off of Wikipedia. So you can take it with a grain of salt. I put the link below just in case you want to check it out. But they also talk about mental diseases, which kind of alters your behavior, but it's because of a parasite protozoa. And one of the parasite protozoans that they talked about was the Toxoplasma gondii, which can make toxoplasmas, something that you are supposed to avoid as a pregnant woman if you're dealing with your cat, kind of thing. So I could not find any movie specifically with that. Now, of course, there are other parasite protozoas that can also cause it. I think the tsetse fly is one of them, and the mosquito. But I could not find any zombie movie descriptions of anyone turning into a zombie because of that. So if you know of any that a mental disease causes, because of these different parasitic protozoans, let me know. I'd be curious. You can also become a zombie from a fungus. And I found out that there is actually a zombie ant fungus. And what it does is it turns the zombie, it turns the zombie, it turns the ant in a zombie so that the fungus can grow. Apparently, there are other zombie insects that live in our world as well, but it's all parasitic because a fungus is like a parasite. And what comes to mind for me is the movie, The Girl with All the Gifts. And I think also that new program, The Last of Us, is also maybe fungus. Let me know if I'm correct with that or not. The fourth way you can turn into a zombie is through a pathogen. If you're infected by, some kind of a germ or some kind of an agent. And this can happen if you're bit by something. So, for example, Brain Dead, the movie that was directed by Peter Jackson, it's also known as Dead Alive. In fact, I think Brain Dead is the European name for it. Dead Alive might be the US name for it. That's why it has the two different names. But 28 Days Later would also be like that because I'm thinking because of the monkey passing the rage pathogen onto the people. But that's basically how it happens. This pathogen is passed. So anything that can pass it. The fifth way you can turn into a zombie is with a parasite. And you have endoparasites, which are internal, and ecto, which is outside. And we have two movies, Night of the Creeps, Slither. I'm sure you could think of some more where some kind of a parasite gets into their body and then turns them into a zombie because it travels somehow to the brain and takes them over. Then you also, number 6 is vectors, and vectors are basically insects. I think slugs can be vectors also if it's parasitic, but not slugs, snails. Snails can if they're parasitic. But you got to think mosquitoes, ticks, fleas, if they transmit the infection through a pathogen, that is a way that it can happen. So it's almost like the pathogen and vector kind of work hand in hand, I guess. You also have carriers, and carriers are infected with the pathogen with no signs or symptoms. So if you've ever heard of Typhoid Mary, I believe she was in prison. She was the cook, and she ended up getting a bunch of people sick because she was asymptomatic, but because of her cooking all this food and breathing on it and whatever else she did, it caused a lot of those prisoners to get sick. So vectors and carriers, I don't know of any movies that either one of them. I looked and I couldn't find any. So if you know of any, let me know. I want to know. You could also turn into a zombie if you are irradiated somehow. In fact, the movie Fido is about space radiation, and that causes zombies. And I think Fido is like a comedy, a zombie movie. You could also, the 9th way, scientific accidents or experiments. So if you think of Planet Terra, I think there's like a biohazard thing that happens and it gets out and it's not supposed to. And then, of course, Resident Evil. They are doing things in the laboratory and it all goes awry, and we know what happens with Resident Evil. And then the last might be controversial with some people. I don't know. You tell me how you feel about it. But it could be some kind of secret technique that you've perfected in the lab somehow to be able to reanimate. Or you have some kind of serum that you put together that when you inject it into the body, it can reanimate it. And 2 movies that come to mind, or 2 stories, is Frankenstein. I mean, it's not a traditional zombie movie, or story, but Victor Frankenstein does go dig up dead body parts and he assembles them, and through some kind of scientific technique, along with electricity, he reanimates this monster. So it kind of moves around and does. It's weird. I mean, it's not really, is it really alive? I mean, I know he says it's alive, but is it really alive? I mean, it's made out of dead parts. I don't know. What do you think? And then, of course, you've got Reanimator. I mean, Reanimator is all about injecting and bring them back, and they're not really normal again. They're not like how they were before they died. Now, Reanimator is based loosely on an H.P. Lovecraft story. So we all know about H.P. Lovecraft. He's got some weird ideas. So those are 10 different ways I have come up with. Number 10 is kind of, I don't know. Do y'all agree? Do you not agree? Tell me. I want to know. Okay, let's go back and see what people are saying. Storm says, Storm says, I didn't know there was zombie board games. Yeah, I've seen a couple. In fact, I'm looking to see if I can get a zombie puzzle because I would like to put a zombie puzzle together. I had so much fun during Old School April. Yeah, I need to see if somebody will play. I might have to try to convince my husband to play the Walking Dead Monopoly. Yes, Last of Us is fungus. Good. Yes, I thought so. Resident Evil is so good. I agree 100%. And I'm sure you've played the video game. I haven't played the video game. Hello, zombies. Just saw the new Evil Dead movie. It was good. Hello, Tangible Reads. I'm glad you were here. Is the new Evil Dead movie, which you would consider zombie? I mean, is it? It looks very creepy. I mean, the trailer, I hope well, obviously, if you're saying it's good, the trailer doesn't have all the best parts. But I was freaked out about the trailer. I happened to see that when I went to go see John Wick 4. Stem cells maybe could reanimate, and nanorobots. Ooh, that's really interesting. Stem cells and nanorobots. That would be pretty interesting. But do we have any movies that support that? That's what I want to know. Looking forward to the new Evil Dead. Me too, Swamp Gas. I want to see that. Same with Linda. Linda wants to see it as well. Yeah, I think it's all fascinating. You know what freaks me out about the new Evil Dead movie is the fact that it's a mother, and I'm not really sure. I can't remember. Was it a book or something that they find? She's a mother, and she has children, and I think it's her sister, and she's like trying to get her kids. I'm a mom. I would not want to be freaking looking like that and try to get my kids. It's terrible. Evil Dead, I think it's demon zombies. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Because, when I watched the Evil Dead a long time ago, I thought they were demons. And I thought that the reason they came about was because the teenagers or whatever opened the book and read something from the book and turned them into this. So they're demon zombies, which makes it worse. I mean, it's one thing to have to deal with a zombie, but to have to deal with a demon zombie, because demons can think. They want to kill you. Dead of Winter, Zombicide, and Zombies are some solid zombie board games. I will post on the Discord. Yes, please post in the Discord because I would like to check those out. That would be fun to play some zombie games. I always have side thoughts about, does the person character know that they're doing the bad stuff to their loved ones? Yeah, I wonder about that too. I mean, if you were taken over by a demon, are you really you? I mean, I guess if you think about like a demon zombie would be kind of like possession, like when a demon possesses you, like in possession movies. And it doesn't seem like in those movies, the demon is so strong, it's pushing down the person who they inhabit the body. That demon is almost like a parasite. It needs a host in order to live. And so it feeds off of you. And can the demon kill them eventually and then take over that person? Which brings me to the thought, If a demon didn't physically have a body and then they inhabit the person's body, if they end up killing the body, wouldn't the demon have to leave the body? Because it needs a body in order to live. So if the body is not alive, maybe I'm analyzing this too much. I think, Linda, that I don't think the person knows that they're doing the bad thing to the loved ones. And the reason I say that is if it's taken over by a demon, the demon has all the power. I think they need exorcists to come in and help them because the demon doesn't let the person speak. Now, with that being said, sometimes the person can come out of it, but they don't seem like they know what's going on. I don't know. People weigh in. Let me know. What do y'all think? Because I just think that's fascinating. I had a weird thing on my screen here. And I get rid of it. Okay. Oh, good. It went away. Don't you hate that when you have these things pop up on your screen and you don't ask for it? In some movies and books, they lose their memories. So eating brains give them other people's memories, like Warm Bodies and iZombie. Oh, yeah. I forgot about Warm Bodies doing that. iZombie I haven't seen, but isn't iZombie the one with the detective? Like she helps people. And is that why she can figure out what happens to people? Because she's able to eat their brain? I never have gotten around to watching that. Yeah, you were frozen, but the audio was working. Oh, thank you. Yeah, some weird thing popped up. I don't know what it was doing, but it's like something with this new browser. And now it's not a new browser, but a new update that happened with the browser. And periodically it pops up and wants you to do things, but I don't know. So I don't know. Linda has brought up a very good question, I think. And we do have some movies and books that say that they lose their memories, but I don't know. Can you be held responsible? Yes, iZombie Girl gets info from eating their brains. Well, that's pretty clever. If you think about it, then they can help solve whatever the case is. So then she can solve how these people were murdered. That's pretty useful. Although I would like to know, how does she stay alive? How is she able to function and think and all that kind of stuff? What gives her that ability? Did something happen to her in a special way that keeps her? And is she the only zombie? That's another thing I want to know. Is she the only zombie? Because then she would be like an anomaly, I guess, if she's the only one. Now, you know, one thing in my researching this information about the different origins, I thought it was pretty funny that they consider Dracula a parasite because I never thought of him being a parasite, but he does have to go and drink people's blood. So he needs living organisms so that he can live. So I thought that was pretty interesting. If you think about other monsters who have to go and feed on, you know, individuals or whatever. Yeah, Linda says he's a leech. And depending on which Dracula we're talking about, we would not want the Dracula to be acting like a leech on any of us. That is for sure. I mean, if we're talking about Dracula, the Gary Oldman version of Dracula, well then, yeah, that would be fine. Sally says Dracula is basically a mosquito. That is true, but I never thought of it that way. I guess because Dracula, they romanticize Dracula, and most of the time he's nice looking. I mean, very rarely do you see funky looking vampires, except for maybe in 30 Days of Night. They're hideous. Dracula's like a mosquito, less frightening than zombies. I agree. 100%. I don't know what to think of the name Sabrina Smellsman. gosh. Is that supposed to be your zombie name? Sabrina Smellsman? I think I mentioned it before, but I read a book a few years ago called After the Cure. They cure the virus that turned people into zombies, so they were left with the terrible things they did. I don't know. Did you mention that? Oh, I'm gonna have to write that down. That would be awful. Awful, awful. That's terrible. Because think about it. If you ended up killing your loved ones, I wouldn't want to know that, even if I was a zombie. I mean, that would be awful to know that you were the person that did that. I'm curious though, how long could you be a zombie before you could get the cure? Do they explain that in the book? I'd like to know that too. Yeah, so some interesting questions. But yes, if y'all have seen a movie where there has been any zombies changed because of mental diseases, where your behavior was altered because of a parasitic protozoan, or a vector or a carrier caused someone to become a zombie, let me know, because I would like to add it to the list. You can let me know on Discord. You can let me know, message me on Instagram, just so I can, add that to the list and then update everybody, for sure. Halco's like me. I have to read After the Cure. That I put that on my list because I think that's going to be pretty cool. I mean, cool in the sense that you could be, get a cure, like you could be cured of it, like thinking of it as being like having an antidote for it. But the fact that you have to live with any guilt of finding out what you did, yeah, that would be pretty horrible. I Am Legend had them thinking and thought the guy was the bad one. I Am Legend had them thinking, thought the guy was the bad one. I don't know. Explain that. I'm confused with what you're saying. Like, the bad guy was thinking, oh, Will Smith. Oh, yes. Yeah, I know what you're, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I love that movie, except I just think it's very sad. I think it's very sad for so many different reasons. One, because he's like immune to this and he's trying to save everybody. Apparently, there are other people immune to it, we realize later on, but he's immune to this. And then his only one companion, of course, which I worried about it all the time. I was like, I would never want to take him with me, my little companion. He was testing them and found out they had feelings. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And then also too, remember how they could think, and they knew, I think they knew about him. I think they knew about him. And that was one of the reasons why he had to be so careful when he went out. It was just a matter of time that they were going to find him. And then I think when he had that one in the laboratory, yes, with the female that was in there, the bad guy came for the female. Yeah, it's like they mutate. And the same thing was happening with The Walking Dead. It seemed like some of the zombies were mutating and doing things like I guess like anything in life, it can evolve. So why can't zombies evolve? I mean, that's pretty, I would think that would be pretty logical. Scarier in the sense, because it's one thing if they can't think and they can't react and they can't defend themselves, but it's another thing when they can start, because bad enough if they're slow. I mean, if they're fast, you can't get away from them. So if they think and they're fast, you're toast. They also mutated in Warm Bodies. I'm gonna have to rewatch Warm Bodies. Sally, have you read Warm Bodies as well as watched the movie? Are they very similar? It's been a while since I have seen the movie. I've never read the series, but I know Lauren just finished the whole entire series over at Happy Haunted Library, and she really enjoyed it. But I'm gonna have to check that out too. I know it's romance, but I don't think it's like steamy romance. Okay, you haven't read it, but at least you watched it. So I'll have to rewatch that one again because has been quite a while since I've seen it. Well, does anyone have any final thoughts about what we talked about today? Anybody have any questions about what's going on with the Zombie-thon? I have one more week of activities planned in my life, and then my calendar is going to open up a little bit. My husband and I are going to see The Cure Wednesday night, and we're spending the night in New Orleans. So I'll be back on Thursday, and then my youngest son is graduating from college on Saturday afternoon. So that's pretty exciting. So once he graduates, and of course Sunday's Mother's Day, so once this weekend goes, then my schedule is going to be freed up, and I can really read a lot, watch some more movies and TV shows, and then I'm going to host some sprints so that we can hang out and read. Helco says, yeah, I need to read and watch Warm Bodies too. And Crystal says, I was really surprised with the Warm Bodies book. I liked it a lot. Haven't seen the movie though. I liked the movie. I thought it was cool. It was a different premise. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, a live person is rescued by a zombie and they fall in love. I'm trying to remember. Tell him congrats and happy Mother's Day. Thanks, Linda. I sure will. I'm very proud of him. Have fun seeing The Cure. Congrats to your son. Thanks so much, Sally. We're looking forward to all of our events, and congrats on all the good news. Yes, lots of good news, lots of fun stuff going on. And I just want to say before I sign off, thank you everyone who is participating in Zombie-thon. It is bringing me so much joy to have so many people to enjoy Zombie Awareness Month with. Sometimes I, convince my husband to watch some zombie movies with me. And, Kelsey, the last few years, she and I have been kind of doing it. And so it's nice to have, some people who are like-minded to be able to talk about it and share all this stuff. Yes, that is correct for Warm Bodies. So live person, live girl, zombie boy, they meet, he saves her, they fall in love. I'm enjoying Zombie-thon. Thanks for hosting. Well, I appreciate it. I'm excited about it. I love everything that we're doing. I'm hoping that this is going to be an annual event on my channel and that it just will grow and we can do other things. I am thinking about for next Tuesday that we are going to place, I don't want to say play games, but that we will answer a quiz to see your zombie aptitude, and also do some zombie Mad Libs. I think that would be kind of fun. And then I'm going to see if there's any other kind of zombie like game or something we could do, because I think that would be fun to do. So it'll be kind of like a little lighthearted kind of thing that we'll do for next Tuesday's chat, if everybody is good with that. Sally's also enjoying Zombie-thon. I'm so happy because I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know how many people would be happy about, talking about zombies, but I love it. And I appreciate everybody joining the Discord. Appreciate everybody joining the Instagram for Zombie-thon. If you haven't joined, it's zombie_thon. And you can find us there and join us if you want to, follow us over there. I post when I can. And if anybody has any suggestions, please feel free to let me know. I appreciate that. If you have a suggestion for a channel you want me to add to the Zombie-thon Discord, I'll be happy to do that. And I'm always game for trying stuff. So please don't hesitate. to let me know. But in the meantime, because I know your time is precious, I want everyone to stay amazing and be adventurous and make sure that you stay away from zombies because I want to see y'all all back here next Tuesday night. Love you guys. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your evening.